I haven't said anything yet. Very observant trader. They are up. You should see them. Just put them up. What a chart they are. Miracles happen. Amazing timing. I don't know what to say about it. A move like this, first thing that comes to mind is short it. Not immediately, of course. You never do. Just what we do, how we interpret the charts, it moved from support. It's taken out the prior high, wide range bar. It's not done. The bar is not done. So we don't know what this bar will look like at the end of the day. And, but such an extreme move on news all of a sudden coming out at this moment in time, the timing of it, I think is a bit suspect. Anyway, new all-time highs. And so far it hasn't given up anything at all. Just kind of the 5-minute chart, maybe the momentum slowing a little bit, but this is typical for what futures do pre-market as they move up like that. It'll often do a continuation spike at the open, and then we'd see if it comes back in again. So we'll see if that unfolds. Just forgetting news. Last week's reversal, powerful reversal bar, typically doesn't just take off like this. So you really got to be careful here, I guess, in the coming days and maybe week or so, if this turns out to be a breakout failure, because when you get such an extreme reversal and then a follow through like that, I always mention what patterns to be on the lookout for. So, with a whole week to go, the pattern, two patterns, of course, to look out. This expands and it's a big green bar and it looks bullish as hell and then says it's going higher. The other one that could set up is a bit more subtle, is where it backs off with a small topping tail, which begins a breakout bar failure. That'd be followed by an inside week and then a reversal down. So, several weeks out of that even developing, I'm just throwing it out there to, always have the thought of different scenarios and what they would look like on the chart. So, we'll see where this ends up at the end of the week, whether it grows, hangs here and hold on to the gain, or gives it all back. I don't know. But this move on the daily, and now this wide range bar jumping on board here, historically doesn't work out well, in the short term anyway. You get better entries just being patient and waiting for some type of range contraction. Could it be igniting a new move? I suppose so, trader. I mean, it has several months of consolidation here with the red bar ignored and the 180 reversal. Yes, it could be a new move. Chopped around for a while. I think we have to see how this holds up here. Let's even give it to Wednesday, Thursday. I'm not saying, we won't have positions to consider, but Wednesday, Thursday, let's see if this is still holding on to its gain, because if it's igniting a new move, as extended as this is in the short term, it won't pull back a lot. That is the tell, meaning, people are going to sell that are long. It's a prudent thing to do. Sell calls. It's just moved so much. Premiums on calls are going to pop. So if you want to hold on to things, why not sell an out of the money call on positions that you want to hold on to? By the end of the day, we may have lots of credit spreads, bear call credit spreads, where maybe this gap begins to fade, or stocks that are underperforming at this point or weak. The stay-at-home stocks, they may be opportunities there for bear call credit spreads. So we have to see. This is a big gap that's happening, and it's happening on news. I think the markets were anticipating, we know the markets were anticipating that this corona thing was blown out of proportion right from the get-go. And it was more or less, I'll be nice and just say overblown with the move down and the rally back up. And this consolidation, if we look at this as a continuation, was just consolidating the gains that happened from the March low up to August. And we had this corrective price action. And now, yes, this could be the continuation of that. So, and the other thought that always comes to mind is, buy the rumor, sell the news. We've been hearing about this Pfizer vaccine coming. It's coming. Right. I think Trump said that we would have it before the end of the year. And now, I guess, I don't know, did anybody take that seriously? Maybe not. But now here it is. And if you heard the fella on the news this morning, the CEO, he's saying it's better than 90% effective. It's like the world is saved, right? The world is saved here. And, the whole thing seems like a fabricated hoax that was created and cost a lot of people their lives. And now, I guess time is over to save the world, from the disaster that was inflicted on it. And we could all go back and take off our masks. Anyway, so NASDAQ underperforming here a bit. I think it's the stay-at-home stocks getting sold, not breaking out of the range, still staying in there. And, kind of a fly in the ointment of the bull case if they continue to deteriorate. Not only that, I guess even Amazon, I saw go across the ticker and was down. And did Amazon do all that much better? I guess it did. But look, Amazon's business is not going away. So it'll be something to see if that actually starts to deteriorate. Semiconductors, which broke out last week and look great, like they could go higher. We'll keep an eye on them. And what else? Oh, YM. That's amazing. Tagging, I don't know. I don't think it quite hit 30,000 yet. I can't help myself but to think that this is, at some point today, going to be a fantastic opportunity to short the Dow. Just regardless of news, just such an enormous move. And coming up to a whole number of 30,000, the 5-minute chart is still hanging up there. See, and this base that's formed here, it would just be perfect for this to break below here, meaning it's not that far away. It's not far away. So for this little trading range, and you could already see this little continuation 1, 2, 3, it's already failed. Now, the beginning of the failure, it hasn't traded below here yet. But if it does, not only do you have the breakout failure, you got it preceded by a couple of hours of basing, which means all of those buyers and the breakout buyers are now holding losses. And so that leads to supply coming in and a shorting opportunity with a ridiculous void below. So again, if it's truly bullish, even if it breaks through here and comes down, which would be a huge amount, down to even say 29,400. Somewhere in here, buyers should show up again. It's just the way it should be from the bullish case. Now we got the Russell just exploding here. It's halted. What do you make of that? I'm not so sure. I don't know. What's the rule of it? When does it start trading again? Is it a time thing? We'll see. And of course, bonds down, interest rate up. They're sitting here on support. This is suspect, just technically suspect. It's the normal reaction for what's happening today. But let's see if this actually can hold here and turn around. It'll be interesting to see if this actually begins to break lower. And that from the bullish point of view would be a positive if this went down and interest rates started ticking up again. And from thinking, okay, everybody's going to go get a shot. You won't see me on the line, but everybody's lives are saved. They're going to get this shot, and we're back to the way things were, and the economy is going to, go back to the way it was, and all of that. And if that's the truth, people are going to go out and borrow money. It's going to make interest rates go up. So, it's doing what it should do. Let's see if it can just go down or it flips back up again. So there's going to be a lot of, let's see how much of this is real in the next day or two. Oil's doing the right thing too, right? It's going up. It had rolled over within a downtrend. It's negating that. It's still kind of a bear flag type of pattern, but if it can clear these highs, this becomes a breakdown failure, and that's a positive. More of a, let's see what really happens. Obviously, this is pushing up right up into a pretty stiff area of resistance, and there's going to be sellers there. Gold, which was looking terrific, just collapses on this news. So I suppose that means there's little to no need for more stimulus, which the market was drooling over. I don't know. Strange times. I don't know. Anyway, this breakdown failure that took longer and became a more complex pattern, now getting this bearish 180 reversal. We'll see where this ends at the end of the week as well, and at the end of the day. So I think that while this big move that's happened here pre-market, things are confused. What a market of such complex uncertainty and patterns, and bearish, bullish, bearish, craziness. Anyway, the transports, I suppose, have to soar today with airlines going up and cruise lines and all of that. And that's a positive. We'll see how it all unfolds. I'd be careful here at the open. SPX, I don't know. I think maybe the call, since it's gapped up like that, I would think call spreads are in order. You better wait a little bit and see for a failure. You got 366, big gap below. Wait for some kind of a failure pattern up there. Right. See what the premiums are. Give it a whole bunch of room. Probably be fine. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Yeah, all I can say is wow again. I was watching just the CNBC ticker. It was up 350, which is kind of where it was last night. And I told Greg over the weekend in chat as we were scanning together, I'm like, you know what, Greg? I'm watching all these celebrations all over the country on Saturday. I said, since there's more celebrating than rioting, I said, I think we're going to gap up on Monday or Sunday night. He says, yep, I agree. But then I started, when they were talking about the vaccine, it just went up like a rocket, another 1,100 points. And I was just, wow, there's a lot of junk stocks moving. But as I said earlier to somebody, look at UAL. How the heck are we going to intelligently buy this? You can't. These gaps are too excessive. So that, yeah, I agree with Greg. My bias is spiders, maybe 15-minute low, 30-minute low, whatever the case. Yeah, let's sell a 0DT call spread. If I were long any stocks, I think you got rocks in your head not to either want to take profits, or if you want them long term, as Greg says, it doesn't even have to be an out of the money call. Greg, sell at the money call. You're going to get more juice than. I mean, this is a monster gap. So we have 8 open positions, all on the bullish side. But of those bullish positions, we only have 2 problem children. One is AEM. This was a no-brainer, beautiful gap breakout. We sold the 80-75 put spread, and so I moved the stop to the 30-minute low. Stay-at-home stocks are getting whacked here, and that's why the NAS is what it is. And I was thinking the same thing actually when I saw all these red stocks on the NASDAQ. I was like, why are the Qs so strong too? And then all of a sudden they turned negative. So I guarantee you the arbitrageurs were taking advantage of that mismatch going on. I guarantee it. I used to work with a guy that was his specialty. Gall, sure, yeah. It's I mean the whole sector is on my list. Look at cruise ship. Look at Royal Caribbean here, $73. What the heck am I gonna do with this? CCL. That is I'm gonna just be repeating myself, so I'm gonna try not to. There's a lot of bullish gaps, but we're gonna have a hard time entering new swings. Day trades were open all the time. All right, so Netflix. We have a put spread in the 470s way down here. So it's against us, but we still have $16 of comfort. But yeah, I'm going to be looking at trying to short some call spreads on weak patterns, and anything that's a red is a consideration. Anything that's not gapping up today is relatively weak. Of the Dow 30, Microsoft's the only one red. And so it's interesting how the market, the theme last week was undoing the blue wave trade, right? We talked about it in MT Live. So now there's a new unwinding or readjusting that's going on because of this vaccine news. And that's affecting many, many sectors. So there's going to be a lot to focus on. So look how volatile Microsoft is pre-market here. I mean, it's whipping around here in billions of dollars of market cap because of vaccine news. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, Debbie, I don't know. We're just silly chart readers. I wish though, Debbie, and I didn't see Greg review them, but the market internals breadth is going to be in the bearish territory now. Breadth, because it already was over the weekend, Friday, and now with this gap up, I'll bet the tick gap's up to 2,000. So yeah, the breadth's going to be bearish, but sentiment was still not giving us a bearish signal. And I think that's actually what helped propel the market up higher last week. Let's continue with some of these. All right, so iRoba was a little bottoming pattern, gapping down to 81. It's down, but I think we can find better. But like I said, anything that's red will be a candidate for a call spread. Like Ring. Why is Ring down 10 bucks? You know, it's the point again about Ring is your doorbell. What is the vaccine going to make your doorbell camera not as valuable anymore? I don't know. But McGraw, this one's actually a Condor candidate now, Ring. Yeah, there's rotation like that. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, Debbie. Aber here, recent IPO. It has a nasty gap here. Nothing to do with it now. Oh, Ring teleconferencing. Okay, well, that's a good point too. That's a good point. All right, Ruth. Remember we had Ruth on our watch list last week. Now it's a bullish gap breakout. So the things that I want to keep on my long swing list are ones that are not gapping too much, and that the weekly and the monthly they still have room. Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to buy them today. It might mean they set up on Wednesday. I don't know. But so Ruth beat up restaurant. It has room, 16, 17. This other restaurant that we were watching last week, look at RRGB, had a wide range. And, you know, it's gapping up to 16. But look at the beautiful weekly. I could see a target on that on 20. Groupon here, have no idea why Groupon's gapping up, but I like the weekly. It's worth watching. Nothing to do right now. Yeah, YOLO, that I'm kicking myself for not. I did see YOLO Thursday afternoon, but I wish I saw it earlier in the day, and that would have been a no-brainer core long. That's the marijuana sector. MJ, same. Thursday was the entry on these things. ACB, we have short naked puts, the $4. And look at that thing gapping up to 13 bucks. John Newman, looks like a put spread on the weekly. But what I don't like about that one, John, is it's gapping up to this prior high after being up 10 days in a row. So that's one that does not interest me, as opposed to these ones that I am kind of describing that I said they're not as extended. Like we're in this thing, I can't tell where it's gapping pre-market. We entered this on Wednesday. And so this one fit my desired setup for not being, you know, up 5 days in a row, because it was igniting a new move on Thursday. Look at Sepper here. Here's another one. This is a supplier for Boeing. Now again, it's not today. It's not today, but it's a big gap up. But look at the weekly and monthly. I mean, if things really are going to turn around, look, the weekly. This could be the day. Target 30-35. I don't know. So that's on my list. Yeah, JP Morgan, I had that on my list to sell a put spread, and I had to cancel it. The gap's too big. Yeah, FFIV. Yep, saw that news. Hexel 38. It's worth watching. You know, I'm surely not rushing into anything. I'm focused more on kind of call spreads, or if they're long, it's going to be the ones that I'm saying. That's a big gap, but I'm not crazy about it. Tim's asking about SFTBY. SFTBY. That's a long letter. I can't tell where it's gapping. It's an ADR, so I have zero opinion on that. Shop 989. Shop, yeah, Rich, call spread candidate. Yeah, definitely. I have that here in my list somewhere already, right here. I was giving it that and two more stocks. Yeah, so shop's a candidate. Yep. TDoc. TDoc is a beautiful one. This was a sell setup, and now it's gapping down. So TDoc looks fantastic. Call spread over last week's high. That one I like a lot. Coup, $1.21. I don't know. Could I think that's Clear Channel had earnings or whatever. Fizzler making its way back. 96. Yeah. Yeah, look at TAN, the sector had its move there. TAN Solar's doing well with the Biden being announced the winner. SHSP. On a pullback, I mean, it's run a lot. It's far from the 20. So I'm not interested in it here, John. But Friday was a beautiful wide range igniting. Call spread? Nah, we don't do call spreads on wide range igniting breakouts. No way. I want to do them on something weak that's at resistance and a downtrend. Now P time would be a great one, but the gap's too big. So look, TDoc. Well, see, now the gap looks pretty darn big. Look at that. Look, 3 minutes ago it was at 193. So it's already $6 lower, 7 or 8 or whatever the math is. So that one might be extended, but see if there's any juice last week's high. All right, 5. I had this as a long in our swing letter, and now the gap's too big. So I can't chase that with the market gap this big. So let's hold off on 5. But do you see the pattern? Do you see how that one met my desire? It met my desired pattern for a new trade. You see how 5 is not, it's a continuation pattern. So this was fine, but for today's big old gap, that was a good new long. All right, so 5 we got on lights, and you know I hate these gaps also because it just messes up all the hard work that I did finding patterns, but nothing we can do about that. That's a beautiful setup right there. All right, Akamai, Akamai we have as a short call spread. So that one's fantastic. Relative weakness, sell setup at the 200. So that one looks good. We were going to short the 104, 108.